Hi you guys, it's Cassie. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a flip through of my completed journal. So this was my first journal of 2021 and it took me quite a while to finish it because I have just had a lot of stuff going on. So I've also been working in kind of a traveler's notebook style journal and doing some other journaling elsewhere. So, but my junk journal is done. It's my first one, like I said. This was a journal that I got from Sarah, Crafty Paper Bits, last year. It was one of her Marie Antoinette collection. And I just loved it so much. And actually this little quilt piece came from me in one of her design team packages. So it's kind of cool that that came back to me. And now it'll live in my first journal of 2021. So I've got a lot in here to go through, so I'm just gonna jump right in. Sorry if you guys hear my dogs barking. They are like extra crazy today. Don't know why. Actually they're kind of always like that. Okay, so going inside, I always try to include a pocket or a tuck spot or somewhere where I can store things that I'd like to work into my journal, or just like keep for later. So that's what this is. This was built into the journal by Sarah. And yeah, so I just included a picture of my little bear, Henry. I got him right before Christmas, and he was just kind of something that, yeah, I felt like he reminded me a lot of Lennon when he was little, because he had this little stocking cap. So anyway, yeah, he's really special to me, so I wanted him to kind of have a special spot at the start of my journal. And then I tried to include just like some imagery that really inspires me or is pretty and will kind of set the mood or the tone, I guess, for my journaling. That doesn't always work. I mean, obviously you journal about your life and what's going on, and so, but yeah, I just try to include something like that. And then on the back side of this page, I included some intention setting for 2021. And I'm not going to share that with you guys, but I did want to show you guys this first little collage page on this page that Sarah had sprayed with some distress spray. And I just love it. I love fine art, and so it was just kind of cool to have that included in the journal. And then this was my word for 2021, heal. I did do the survey. I forget what website it is, but the website where you go to take the survey and it tells you what your word for the year is. And my word for the year was actually transform, but I feel like heal and transform kind of go hand in hand. Like as you're healing, you will be transformed. So I chose ultimately heal as my word because last year was a very destructive year, emotionally and just physically, really. So this year my intention is to heal and to grow and recover from all of the awfulness that was 2020. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way, but and then on this side, I've just created this little tuck spot. I didn't want to do much to this page because, again, I love this embossed paper. I wish that I had that embossing folder, actually. And then I included a tag that Sarah made. I love this tag with the butterflies, and she like gessoed and did some ink drops or paint drops, and I just loved it. So I just added this little mini tag and did some collaging on it. And then included some pictures that were left over from 2020. Just a little collage down here. So this this picture actually has quite a story behind it. So I wanted to take a picture of this mug that I saw in an antique mall because my ex Brian, his uncle owns this root beer booth, and he travels all over the country doing fairs and festivals and things like that. And I saw his root beer mug in this antique store, and so I wanted to take a picture. And I pretty much knocked myself out trying to like get this mug because there was a loft and it was under the loft, and I stood up too fast and bashed my head. So anyway, it's just really funny. Like, I worked in that root beer stand with Brian and his Uncle Zig, and it was just really a fun experience. So it was cool that I saw that and wanted to keep a memory of that. And then, of course, you guys, if you follow me on Insta, probably remember the House Chronicles. So I found, well, a friend of ours had this house, and it was owned by a close friend's brother. And our city right now has zero inventory for houses, and like, people will make an offer on a house sight unseen, and if you don't come with an offer in your hand immediately, you're not gonna buy a house in this town, basically. So this one was not listed on the MLS, it wasn't on the market yet, and so we looked at it, and I really seriously considered buying it. Decided against it for several reasons, but it was just such a cute house, and I wanted to keep that in my memory because that is like a big step toward that healing that I was talking about. Like this time last year, well, number one, I was still married to Josh and living in Flint, but yeah, like, I could never see myself as like living alone or, you know, buying my own home. And so it was just really cool to like document that was a thing. And then on this side, I've just included a couple of notes that I wanted to keep. So in my journal, I'll just tell you guys, pause for a second. In my journal, I keep like actual junk or like notes that people wrote to me. I'll use the washi tape that they used, even if it doesn't match my aesthetic or my journal specifically, but it's just a piece of my life or something that they sent me, and it is special because it came from them. So aesthetically, my journal probably is not super pleasing, but to me, it makes me feel very happy and like special, because it's things from my life. It's things that my friends sent me or gifted to me, or like name tags from the hospital or or the school, you know, like it's parts of my life and things that will kind of like jog my memory later on down the road. And then this spread, this was from my Winter Wonderland digital, and I thought it was so timely that I like had included in my journal. It was January, it was cold, and I just wanted to journal about how much I wanted it to snow. And then lo and behold, it snowed a lot, and so I had been praying about it, and I wanted to document or like journal about how cool it was that God answered that specific prayer of mine. Like, it's something so small, like snow in wintertime. But I really wanted Lennon to experience that, and I just think it's so cool when God kind of shows off and like gives us little gifts like that. So yeah. And then on this page, I didn't want to do anything to it. I loved Sarah's journal so much because she uses the most gorgeous pattern papers paired with like really fantastic like handwritten pages, and so sometimes I just leave pages totally blank, and that's okay, because like even leaving blank pages here and there, it's still just super chunky. And then on this side, again, I was using some of my digitals. These two are from my vintage photos, like couples. I have a set of pictures that are just vintage couples, and then this was vintage Valentines. And so I wanted to journal about yeah, love and like my ideal love and biblical love, really. So there's that. And then on this side, I just included a couple more of those photos, which are just so sweet. Like, and they're couples of all ages. I mean, really, I wanted to document or like include all life phases, I guess, stages. And then I just also included a couple little handwritten notes. And then this was like, I don't know, I was feeling very hopeful when I did this spread. I can remember I got this Duckworth label. I found some Duckworth labels, and they're by far one of my favorite labels. And so I just wanted to include one in my journal. And then I just did this quick little spread, collage spread. And I was just journaling about how happy I was that my divorce was supposed to finally be done, but it's still, like, we're still waiting on the court and things to finalize. And then on this side, I was just, like, kind of reminiscing about how hard it was to share holidays and, like, special days with Josh and, like, give up time with Lennon. Like, over the last year, I have missed his birthday, I've missed Halloween, I've missed Christmas, and, like, half of the summer, which, you know, is prime playing and development time. And then now I've missed, also, Valentine's Day, and now I'll miss Easter this weekend. So it's just really hard. And I know if you're a single mom, I know a lot of my audience is single moms, but this is like really my first year. And it's hard, guys. Like, it stinks to share that time and give up time with your kid. And so, yeah, I was just journaling about that. And also how grateful I am that we do live in an age with video chat. So I can FaceTime with him and still hear his laughter and see his face when he is just like cracking up laughing. But yeah, it's still just that physical touch and contact that I miss. And then this was just a card that I really liked that I got with an order from some glitter. But yeah, I just love that she included like some scriptures on her business card. And then on this side, so this was the day that my divorce was actually supposed to be final. And so I was journaling not only like about closure and just like the end of this long journey and struggle and fight, but also like some hope that I have for my future spouse, like whoever that is, whoever God has planned for me and Lennon in our lives. And I like just still kind of having that hope for the, you know, biblical marriage that God has planned for me. And then I just love this. This was from like a pattern package, but I just thought it felt right with the spread. And then this was some wrapping paper that I got in the mail. And then this was another of my vintage photos, and I just like scribbled out the guy's face. But I love those digitals because I can not feel bad about scribbling out something that I can reprint and use later. So, but if it was like an actual vintage photo, I would feel really bad about like defacing it, literally defacing it. And then on this side, like this was getting into February. I think it was February, I don't know, around the middle, before Valentine's Day, but not Valentine's Day. And then I actually started to get some of my Valentine's Day cards. So Galentine's Day, like a lot of my girlfriends sent me cards, and I got some chocolates, and yeah, like just overwhelmingly showered with love during this first Valentine's Day by myself. Like I felt less alone this year than I did last year, and that's like I actually wasn't alone last year. But yeah, it's just really cool to see the community kind of like love each other, and so I just wanted to keep some of those. And then this spread was actually a journal with me video that I made. So I was doing two things. I was keeping a piece of this vintage wallpaper that was in my parents' house that they're remodeling, and also I wanted to test out, like, just work some of my new digital kit into my journal and just kind of play with it. So this was from my vintage ballet or French ballet kit, which is a Patreon exclusive kit, and I've linked my Patreon and everything in the description box, all the kits that I could remember that I used, and so you can check all those out. I'm not going to go into a big spiel about Patreon and how great it is or anything like that. But this is a Patreon exclusive kit, so if you're looking for this specific one, it's not available on my Etsy, it's only a Patreon one. And then this was a Graphics Fairy tutorial that they did. Sorry, I heard a crash behind me. Lennon's like playing behind me, and he has a little table, and when I come into work, he also will like sit at his table and do stickers or play a game while I'm working. Yeah, so Graphics Fairy did this little tutorial right around Valentine's Day, and I just kind of slow stitched a few little heart or crosses, like kisses, X's for kisses. And this is actually Tim Holtz card, and I just backed it up with some piano paper and journaled on the back. And then this, I'm starting to get into where I did my Valentine's gift digital. This was one of the pieces that I included in that digital, and I've linked that one below in the description box too. It was made for Valentine's Day, but there are pieces that you can use any time of the year. Like they're red and roses, but nothing like specifically Valentine's Day. Like maybe one piece that is just, okay, that's Valentine's Day. But the rest of it is just like this French postcard. And then this is some wrapping paper that I got in a Happy Mail. And then this was the page that I did to kind of play with the pieces from that kit. So this was the one that was just really Valentine's Day. It says "To My Valentine" on it. Actually, I think this was from my Vintage Valentine digital too. But I did include this 14 and the 12 cent, and then this little cherub here, and a few other pieces like the postcard. And then on this side, I've just included a few bits and bobs. I did do some lettering. I did this spread on Valentine's Day, and yeah, I was just journaling about God's love, and yeah, so I wanted to include these little Valentines Angela sent to me in a sweet Happy Mail. And then this was from Sarah, and then this was from an order that I made online, and this was from my Incredible box from February. And then this card cracks me up. Joanna sent this to me, and I'm sure other people got the same one, but I just thought it was so funny. And then these were from Nanda, and then this is like that name tag that I was talking about. It's got my driver's license picture on it, which is terrible, and yeah, so but I mean I kept it. It was part of my life, and that was like when I went to have a meeting with Lennon's teacher, and it was just cool. It was a cool experience and my first time, so I'm sure there will be others and other tags, but that was the first one, so I wanted to keep it. Okay, this is bothering me. Okay, so, and then I did create some journaling space. I never used it. Sometimes I do that, like I'll do a little spread, I'll have some pieces on my desk that I just want to throw in my journal, and then I never get around to actually journaling anything. So I just did a quick note about linen having some stitches, and that was it. And then on this side, I just included some more notes and a little card that I got in a Happy Mail from Ari. And yeah, so I just include notes and things from life, like I said. And then this was a spread that I did, another journal with me video. You can always tell the ones that I did a journal with me because they usually have actual journaling with them. I don't know what it is about this season. I have not really felt like writing very much. And so like I'll do my collage and I'll do like add in my ephemera pieces, but I never really write very much. So yeah, Sarah sent me a sweet Happy Mail in February, and I finally got around to journaling with some of it in March, I think. So this was like the start of March, and yeah, so I was just journaling about new friends being a blessing and how happy I was to meet her, and also wanted to keep some of her Happy Mail things. And then these, I kind of splurged and got a set of watercolors from Dots and Dust, and she's just such a sweetheart, Angeline, and like I cut the card because it wouldn't fit in my journal very well, but I included all her little business cards and the little wrappers from my watercolor set, and I did do a little tiny flower painting on some vintage ledger scrap, and it just like bled everywhere, but I loved it and I wanted to keep it. And then this was from a tea. This tea tastes so good, you guys. This was in my March Sips Buy box. It tastes so good, but it is a detox tea, and I'll just leave it at that. It did its thing, but it was really, really good. And then, yeah, so this was just a cute little image that I had left over from a project last year, or someone sent it to me. I don't even know where it came from, but it's so cute, so I kept it. There's more of those stickers. Lennon loves sticking stickers on, I mean, he's got like a whole stack of stickers, and he gets them in Happy Mails when I get Happy Mail sometimes, and so yeah, I just like sometimes will peel them off my phone and stick them on my journal. And it will be fun to look back on that later and remember how my phone always had these really awful looking stickers on the back of it. And then on this page, I had this vintage book page from a children's book that I had like run over with my chair, and it was all ripped and mangled. And I was like, well, that's not good for anything. So I'm going to use it in my journal. And I did this fun little art journaling spread. And I was just playing around with my different sprays and stencils and mark making and stuff like that. It was just fun to make. And then this was my March tea box. So there's the teas that I got. And I love this box, you guys. Like, I love tea. I love sampling tea. I do not like to buy a whole big box until I know I like it. And so, I'm not the pickiest about tea either, so maybe that's kind of counterintuitive. But I do love this box because they curate it and send it to you. You really have to think about it. And so yeah, it's an Austin-based company, so I love that they're in Texas, and they pick teas from all over the world. Like, this is a South African tea. And yeah, so it's just a really cool box, and yeah, and that way, like, I only get, you know, between 3 and 5 bags of each flavor, and so if I don't like something, I only have, you know, 3 of them or 5 of them, and I can, like, find a pen pal friend who likes that flavor and send it to them, or just, like, suck it up and drink it. And then this was, this was from a Red Lead Paperworks, order that I made for some stamps. Again, another splurge. I never buy my stamps really new. And so to order some stamps was just a really special thing. And so I kept the little envelope that they sent. And this is actually one of my stamps that I got. I got these little cherub boys. And yeah. And then inside I just kept, like, I always make a checklist for my orders and make sure that I got everyone, like all their orders picked and packed and shipped. And so that was my checklist for my last sale. And I left this page blank again because I love it. And then this was another journal with me that I did using things from my Happy Mail from Brianna. So if you want to see the process of making this, you can go back a few videos and it should be there. It should be like a picture of this spread, this page spread. It's the cover. And then these are just a few little cards that I got from Sarah. And she also painted this. And I loved the idea of including a piece of canvas with just like a paint color or a tiny painting in your journal. Like, I have a background in actual fine art painting. Like, I have the little artist palette tattoo. Like, it is a thing in my life. It's been a thing in my life for years. And so, yeah, just having that canvas in my journal is just so special to me. Yeah, just a little tag or circle punch there with a little bird on it. And then on this side, I just included a few little things, again, from life. Like, this was sitting on my desk forever, and I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. I'm going to put it in my journal. Because obviously I'm not going to use it in anything else. And then this was, I got to go in with Lennon to his little speech lesson with Miss Cleveland. And she is just such the sweetest lady. And I got to watch them. I tried very hard not to interfere, but I asked if I could take a picture and she said sure. So now I have a picture of him and his teacher. And then this, I did not mean it, like, it looks like I drew a heart around me and Lennon and this car salesman. But it's not. I was like saying I love my new car, and it kind of came out like I love this salesperson, maybe. But really, it was a great car buying experience. It was the fastest, easiest ever, and like, this was literally the first time I met this guy, and like, we did the whole deal over the phone, and we just drove to pick up the car and sign the papers. So yeah, I love my new car. It's my first new car, aside from the lease that Josh got for us when Lennon was first born. It's my first new car in 14 years, so, or almost 15. So I love it. I'm so happy that we got a new car. And then this, I just included a little seed packet flip out and pocket on the other side, so just like a little corner tuck spot. And I just journaled like some of my goals for April and the rest of the year in there. And really, I should put them in like my planner or bullet journal or something where it's more productive. And then this was from this past weekend. We went to a flower market at the opening of the farmer's market in our town for the first time this year, and we bought some flowers, and this was the little sold tag that they put on our flowers. And then this was the very last thing I think I included one. Yeah, I included a letter from Maggie, but this was the very last spread that I made. And this was another Journal With Me video. I used some of my new Forget Me Not digital kit, and then I also used some of my March design team pack from Sharika Postal Love. And I made a little sachet with some incense in it, and so it smells really good and will keep my journal smelling nice. So yeah, that's basically my whole journal. I did not fill it up. Obviously, I didn't finish all the pages, and I think that's okay. Like, if you do not feel like finishing for whatever reason, I didn't finish because it just got so hard to work in it when the pages just keep falling over while you're working. So I chose to end here and move into my new journal. So on Instagram, I did a little survey, poll, that's what I was looking for. So I did a poll of 4 different journals that I kind of have sitting on my shelf, and asked you guys which one I should work in, and this was the winner. So I will be starting, maybe not this weekend with a Journal With Me, but this will be the journal that I'm doing Journal With Me videos in until it's filled up. But I love this journal, and it's very, very flat and not very thick. So I'm gonna have to be careful not to overstuff it. Like, I include a lot of things in my journals, so I have to be really, really careful not to overfill this journal. And maybe I'll do some practice in like minimalist journaling. But yeah, hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing me work in this journal, and have enjoyed seeing me work in my last journal. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. That really helps my channel out a lot. YouTube suggests my video based on the amount of interactions it has and other magical YouTube things. So if you could give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, tell me your favorite spread, or like something that you found very inspiring out of this journal, and I would so appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and yeah, until next time, happy crafting.